Hey there, I'm Cindy Renna, and you're listening to Homeschooling Outside the Box, where I help you build a homeschool that fits your unique family. Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to be talking about autism. In fact, I'm going to be talking about pretty much everything I've ever written about autism. This episode was supposed to air in April in honor of Autism Awareness Month. But if you get my monthly everything newsletters, you will see that Maycember hit a little bit early. It hit in the middle of April, really, and it has been a crazy month. And so I did not have time to record this. It did come out as a SUBSTACK. So if you follow me on SUBSTACK, this will sound familiar. But I wanted to just do an episode that kind of brought everything that I've written on autism, spoke about autism, a lot of what I think about autism. I wanted to bring it all to one place. I also have a really exciting interview that I'm still working on editing and will release as soon as possible that I did with my husband on a dad's perspective of autism. So look for that in the next week or so, and you will have two perspectives on autism. You have the mom side and the dad side. Not that they are opposites or that they don't get along, but men and women are different and we experience things differently. And so it's just kind of a point of view thing that I wanted to give to you guys. And I've never done it before. In all the time that I've been recording, I haven't pulled it all together. So hopefully you enjoy this. If your child has autism, welcome. Welcome has a very positive connotation. The diagnosis that your child received doesn't usually carry that same positivity. In fact, it probably rocked your world and will continue to rock your world. The autism grief cycle is real. And yet, I say, welcome. Am I being sarcastic? Facetious? No, in fact, I'm being totally serious. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to understanding your child in a whole new light. Welcome to an accelerated parenting experience. Welcome to being pushed to and even beyond your limits to a place where you will have no choice but to grow. I'm sure you remember where you were when you found out. The exact room, time of day, the tender emotions, the circumstances leading up to diagnosis. We all have a story, and those stories belong to our children as much as they belong to us. It is their autism story. It is your autism story. And a story it is with a plot, a setting, major and minor characters, point of view, maybe multiple, maybe differing, conflict, and resolution. As the chapters progress, you will be met with new challenges and joys. Autism at age 15 looks very different than autism at age 5. This journey will require endurance, faith, and a sense of humor. Your resolution must be the superhuman ability to roll with the punches, to be firm in your convictions while being open to many possibilities, to be weak in your dependency with a will like Teflon. I don't know where you're at in your story arc. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you have been chosen, friend. You're in the club. Maybe a club you never wanted to be in to begin with, but here you are, and you're not alone. In the year 2000, the prevalence of autism was 1 in 150, according to the CDC. It is now 1 in 31. When our twin boys were diagnosed 16 and 14 years ago, the rate was 1 in 68. We were told that we had until around age 7 to make any big improvements, and then their brains would be much less malleable. We were told that ABA therapy was the only effective therapy. We were told that food had nothing to do with autism and that changing their diet was unnecessary. We were told supplements were a waste of money. We were told that vaccines had nothing to do with autism and opting out of some or delaying some and spreading the rest out over time and boosting their immune system beforehand was a waste of time. We were told there was no connection between the gut, the brain, and the immune system, and that autism was a behavior disorder, and we had to condition our boys to different behaviors, extinguishing the undesirable ones and giving them reinforcement, i.e. rewards of candy, toys, or treats, when they performed a desirable behavior. Maybe things have changed. Maybe not. Or maybe not enough. Over the course of those early diagnosis years, we enrolled in a local public school, set up an IEP, acquired services, tried the inclusion classroom, changed the IEP, tried the autism unit, fought with the school, tried having a buddy, tried ABA, tried an in-home therapist, joined a support group, traveled to parent meetings at Vanderbilt, participated in studies at Vanderbilt, saw a developmental pediatrician, tried to get some services that the pediatrician recommended, fought with the school some more, read lots of books, changed our diets, tried supplements, changed our diets again, attended seminars, considered moving to another state to get access to quote-unquote better services, talked to other parents, fumbled through disastrous mornings at Sunday school, tried changing churches, attended conferences, did OT, did PT, did speech therapy, did food therapy, mourned the fact that insurance wouldn't pay for anything that was actually helping, tried to get more support, pushed away from any support, prayed a lot, cried a lot, tried homeschooling, tried to pretend everything was still normal, accepted the fact that everything was not still normal, bought an iPad because that was supposed to help with communication. It didn't. Saw a therapist, broke the iPad, tried labeling everything in our kitchen with picture cards, limited screen time, saw more therapists, cut screen time entirely, found a doctor in the Nashville area who specializes in neurodivergent kids, tried a new therapy, and scoured the internet for answers. Some of it helped. Most of it just left us all exhausted and frustrated. And the whole time, a still, small voice cried out inside of me, "How do I not know how to help my own children?" I felt uneasy, unsettled, totally disconnected. Maybe you've been there too. I was so convinced that someone else needed to answer all my questions, it never occurred to me that I might be able to answer some of them myself. I want to say something to you, and I want you to let this sink in, because this is true for every parent here. You are the expert on your child. You may not know much about autism, ADHD, dyslexia, homeschool, fill in the blank, especially if it's all new. But you are still an expert on your child. Don't ever discount this. While it's wise, of course, to seek help from professionals and those who have gone before you, there is no one who can filter through that information better than you can. Henry David Thoreau said, "If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears the beat of a different drummer. Let him step to the music which he hears, however measured or far away." Listen for the music. Step to the beat you hear. And now for the resources. I have written many articles on autism over the past, I've lost count. I don't know. It's been over 10 years. I guess I started my blog in 2012, and I've been writing and talking and speaking about autism ever since. So the articles I've written are all linked in my SUBSTACK. That's the best place that you can see all of them, but I will fly through the titles so you can just know if they might be something that you'd like to read. Dear Mom at the Park, Pregnancy After Autism, The Woman at the Pool, Autism and Anxiety, Autism Breakthrough, a book review, Boost concentration and attention this summer with BrainBeat. Why homeschool is the best educational choice for a child with autism. What is the best homeschool approach for a child with autism? How to get your child to do something he doesn't want to do. What is autism? A peek at both sides of the spectrum. Record keeping when your child has autism. 10-day detox for autism and ADHD. What is the Sunrise program? Speech therapy on a shoestring budget. Why I'm thankful for autism. Fitting therapy into your homeschool schedule. Finding your new normal. 10 tips for homeschooling a child with autism. And there are also a few podcasts I've recorded, some by myself and some with some amazing guests. These interviews are definitely worth listening to. I had Bryn Hogan, the executive director of the Autism Treatment Center of America, on, and we recorded Seeing Autism in a New Light. Kate Wild from the Sunrise program was on, and we talked about inspiring speech. I recorded How to Help Your Child Deal with Anxiety, and then I interviewed Ron K. Kaufman and talked about autism in the teen years. These are some of the favorite interviews I've ever done, guys, especially the autism in the teen years. I feel like that was such a powerful one. If you're new to autism, or if you have a friend who has a child just diagnosed, or you're just kind of starting at the baseline, Seeing Autism in a New Light is such a good one. Although, really, you can listen to it at any time, especially if you're feeling like you're stuck and not making much progress. It might be a mindset shift that could be helpful. Books to read. Autism Breakthrough by Ron K. Kaufman. What You Can Do Right Now to Help Your Child with Autism by Jonathan Levy. Autistic Logistics by Kate C. Wild. And The Autism Language Launcher by Kate C. Wild. More books to read would be Healing the New Childhood Epidemics by Kenneth Bach, The Autism Revolution by Martha Herbert. These people all have a lot of letters after their name, which means they really know what they're talking about, but I'm just going to read you the names their parents gave them. The Autism Book by Robert Sears, Eating for Autism by Elizabeth Strickland, and The Daniel Plan, 40 Days to Healthier Living by Rick Warren and others. More resources would be private occupational therapy. You'd have to talk to your doctor, check your local listings for that. SOS feeding therapy was very helpful for us. Brain balance therapy. The 2 Sides of Sensory Processing Disorder You Never Knew Existed is an article that helps explain why some of these therapies work. And in general, the Autism Research Institute is a very helpful website. We have used the ATEC, ATEC, as a fantastic tool over the years. It just kind of helps you gauge whether a certain therapy is working or not. I also recommend Reset Your Child's Brain, a 4-week plan to end meltdowns, raise grades, and boost social skills by reversing the effects of electronic screen time by Victoria L. Dunkley. And then Uniquely Human is by Barry Prezant. Those are some of my favorite books, the things that have helped us the most. As screens kind of become a bigger and bigger player in our world, which I've seen over the last 15 years, it was very different when my boys were first diagnosed to what we are dealing with now, just in general, as a culture. If you've read The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you follow 1,000 Hours Outside, Jenny Urich is talking about this a lot. So it's a different world than it was when my boys were younger. I'm sure there are things that have come out since that are helpful, but I'm just sharing what helped us on our journey. And I hope that they can help you too. So I'm glad you took time to listen. Be on the lookout for the interview with my husband. That might be a really great one to share with your husband. He's got some great perspective, and it was a really good conversation. So that's all I have for now. If you are loving the podcast, please rate, review, share. It helps to get the word out to other moms just like you and encourage them in their journey. And until next time, keep living outside the box.